and we're going to talk next about how do we really build consistency in our pipeline. And this is something that Microsoft has added a little while back. It's this concept of guided processes, and those are really designed to help the organization go from one stage to the final stage inside an environment, and basically saying these are the steps that we want everyone within the organization to go through. So every sales pursuit is going to have a similar process. In addition to that, think about when onboarding new sales reps. Not only do I have to teach them about our organization's methodology, but I also have to teach them about what we're doing from an organization perspective with respect to being able to deliver a sales engagement. So the quicker we can get them to use the system, the quicker we can focus on staying in their lane, we can drive quicker outcomes, we can make them more successful, we can make them happier employees, and obviously we can drive more revenue through the organization. So this is a huge area where consistency is driven. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go back over to our system. We're back at AdventureWorks, but now we're going to drill into this particular opportunity record here, and I'll walk you through what we're talking about. So first thing we're going to see on the opportunity record is not only are we talking about consistency within the organization, but now we're talking about a system that's driving consistency. You're going to see a lot of the same things where I've got my basic summary information. I've got my timeline in the middle. I've got that relationship assistant where there's nothing really going on related to this opportunity yet that I need to be made aware of. Instead of contacts, we have stakeholders and sales team members that we may want to add to this, as well as competitors. We can track all of that inside of this particular opportunity record, obviously giving us more information to use and to report from later on down the road. So really, as a new sales rep and I'm coming in and this may be my first pursuit that I'm working on, I see all this information and I see, okay, we've got qualified, develop, propose, and then we've got the target symbol over at the close phase. If I go ahead and click on this, it's going to go ahead and open up a quick window that allows me to see, really all of the things that we need to do in order to get this particular customer from qualified to the develop phase. So not only can I just click on it and open it, but we can actually fly this out over to the right-hand side of the screen and allow me to interact with that information over here. So this really becomes that swim lane. You're asking your sales reps to dive in the pool, qualify this opportunity, and these are the things that we need to do in order to qualify this particular engagement. When we get over to the develop phase, we can see here's all of the things that we want them to do. When we get to the propose phase, very similar, and you can obviously mark these fields and mark this information. Now, I left on the qualify phase the purchase process close. Now you can see I've got that over here on my screen here, but you can see it also shows up over here. So whatever I create or click here, it's going to automatically update my screen down below. So when we're talking about staying in your lane and the swim lanes, if you will, within the sales management section, this is really what it becomes. Instead of spending a lot of time filling out this screen, stay inside the guided process in order to get this deal done. Now, the guided process, there's an awful lot we can do with this particular process. We have the ability to make conditional. So for example, under this qualify phase, if they were looking to select something immediately instead of this quarter, we could have a different path be presented to the team or a different stage pop up that would require them to fill out maybe less information because they're looking to make a sale right away. And maybe it's a quick sale that we can get wrapped up in a few days. So we do have the ability when creating these to make conditional stages as well as to drive workflow off of these. So if managers need to be notified, if service individuals need to be notified that a deal is potentially about to close that may impact their business, the ability to use this tool to take your sales methodology and bake it into the application is very important. But now we take it a step further and we can add workflow into this as well. So the ability to kind of edit this and alter this as your organization sees fit is something that you can do very simply. And it doesn't require a developer to create guided processes. Now, the other great thing that we're looking at here as well is we can see how long we've been at this particular close stage. So we've completed the final proposal, but we're having a really hard time, presenting it. We haven't done that yet, right? So as a sales manager, if I'm looking at this information, I can say, okay, this is really where Joel is in the process. Joel's got the proposal put together. He's been at this stage for quite some time, but he hasn't been able to get this thing presented. And instead of it being 28 months, let's just pretend it's 28 days. So as a sales manager, I don't need to sit down with Joel and say, okay, what have we done at the qualified, develop, propose stages? I'm able to come in here and say, wow, Joel is really stuck in trying to get this presentation delivered to the customer. And as a manager, this is where I want to laser focus. I want to spend my time here with Joel, making sure that we can get the presentation delivered and we're able to get this deal closed. So as a manager, I'm able to drill into any one of these opportunities that I have the access to, and then see exactly what step in the process sales is working on, as well as how long they've been at that stage. So this becomes very important. It becomes a coaching tool and a coaching exercise. So, Joel may be stuck in asking for the business. It might be a fear he has that he can't overcome. So as a manager, this gives me an opportunity to work hand in hand with Joel to be able to get him to overcome that. Maybe work with him on sales engagements to make sure that we're able to drive that successful outcome. So this becomes a really great tool, not only to onboard new sales reps, but also for management to laser focus in and make sure that sales is working the way they need to work. But more importantly, this is the consistent approach. Every sales rep is going to require to do the same thing when working through a sales engagement. They're going to ask the customers the same things. They're going to go through the sales process the same way. Now, again, this can be 100% configurable to whatever sales methodology your organization uses. So highly, highly configurable, but very, very important in that this helps deliver a consistent pipeline. That's ultimately the end result. Let's not worry about filling out all the data on this screen. Let's worry about making sure that we're doing the things that we need to do in order to get this deal built and created and out to the customer and getting the customer to sign off on this particular transaction. So at a very, very high level, this is how we bring a guided process in at the opportunity level in order to drive a consistent approach.